Hello there everybody, Sam Strange here, welcome back to the Railway and welcome back to another review. Today I'm going to be showing you a total classic American steam locomotive. So today's loco is really something a little bit special. I'm very excited about showing this to you. It's almost like a little time capsule in a box. So the loco is this. You can't really see what it is because it's covered up with instructions, but it's a Rivarossi Illinois Central number 382, also known as the locomotive that killed Casey Jones. And if you don't know who Casey Jones is and the Casey Jones story, epic guy, real folk legend really. Stay tuned, I will give you a brief overview of the story. Either way, this loco was originally produced by Rivarossi in the mid-1970s, so like I say, it's a vintage loco really. I paid quite a lot for this, second-hand on eBay, £100. I must be crazy, but I love Casey Jones, I love the story, I couldn't resist really. So whether this was worth £100, I'm not too sure. We'll have a proper look at this, figure out what this is like. It's not going to be super detailed or anything, but of course the story of Casey Jones is an opportunity I didn't want to pass up. So let's take a look at this, come with me, and let's find out what it's like. So as you may know, I love looking at vintage trains. I don't do very many of them these days because I have the feeling that you guys don't really like it that much. But yeah, stick with me with this one. Hopefully this will be fun. And if you would like to see me do more, do let me know down in the comments, because if there are enough people that want to, I will do some more. Either way, look at this, just such a classic old box. You really don't see model locomotive boxes like this these days, at least not from any reputable manufacturers. Let me show the end of the box then, show you what this one is. So this is number 1204. The description is in Italian, it looks like. It says Locomotiva a Vapor, which I'm guessing means steam locomotive. It's a 460 Casey Jones Illinois Central 460 Casey Jones steam locomotive. They seem to like mentioning that this is a Casey Jones locomotive, as do I suppose. It's also worth showing you the back of the box because you can see some other of Rivarossi's classic locos, including the big boy there. Of course, that's really famous. And I love some of these Italian words at the bottom. Accuratezza, I guess. Precisione. Realissimo. Maybe it's offensive that I find those amusing, I don't know. One thing's for sure, I've never seen Italian enthusiasm mixed with model trains before, and I like it. Right, let's get, before this turns into one of my strange videos, let's get this out and figure out what it's like. There's this big instruction manual that I can see through the front. I'm interested to see what that says. I'm hoping it will be in English, and look, we've got a shroud over the loco, so I can save the big reveal until we're ready. Here are the instructions. Unfortunately, they do seem to be in Italian, or, well, not English, let's put it that way, so I can't really take much from this. If you do speak Italian, or if you're willing to translate it, feel free to, and see if there's anything interesting there. It does show you roughly how the body comes off and such, and then on the back there's a little bit more, there's a bit of history as well, so if you want to read that, if you can speak Italian or read Italian. Actually, there is an English on the right-hand side there, historic hints it says, there we go, so feel free to pause and read that if you'd like to. I have had this out to service it, I must say, so the loco is in good mechanical order. However, that was a few months ago now. Not had it out the box since then, so let's have a look on camera, shall we? Oh, look at that. Now, there's just something about this that looks really cool. Look at those gold handrails and all those gold parts. I've tried to find some pictures of sort of replica Casey Jones locos. I can't see any of them that have like gold handrails on them and that, so I don't know whether that's just the model. They did have certain gold bits, like there's a running number on the front or something. I think that was gold, but whether it's accurate or not, I don't know. And let's be honest, 1970s models aren't going to be that accurate anyway. Doesn't much matter to me, I just love the way these look. So let's take a look at the tender. Here we go, it's got bogies on it, the tender, and the wheels on those bogies do have pickups on them, which is good. I think the tender picks up from one rail and the loco picks up from the other. But look at this, it's just so good looking, isn't it? It might be an old model, but it looks all right. It's so perfectly clean, it's in great condition. I love the gold handrails, realistic or not. Yeah, it's a cute little thing, really like that. I love how small the tender is and yet how many wheels the thing's got. Don't really see that with British locos, that's very cool. And then, of course, the piece de la resistance, or I probably should have found an Italian phrase to go with this. It's the loco, as you can see. Look at that. It's a beauty, an absolute beauty. The quality is second to none. With some of the other Rivarossi locos I've looked at in the past, let me grab the tender, I've not really seen or understood what people have said when they talk about the quality of Rivarossi locos. Well, with this one, I can see exactly what they mean. There are some amazing features on this that even modern, expensive locos don't really have. But no, this is cool. It's quite a sad story behind this loco. The demise of this loco was quite sad. And before I show you this loco up close, we'll talk about that, shall we? So here we go, very briefly, the story of Casey Jones. So Casey Jones, that wasn't really his name. I forget what his actual name was now. Comment below if you do know. He was born in 1863 and he was a legendary railroad engineer. He's like an American folk legend, basically. And he was also a locomotive expert. He even had, get this, a personalised signature whistle so that everyone would recognise him when he was engineering a locomotive. He famously died at the controls of this steam locomotive, although there are disagreements over the details. Essentially, his train was late, and being the expert he was able to use his skill to make up this time. Suddenly though, him and his fireman, I guess, saw another stationary train on the track in the distance, and they knew there would be no way to stop in time. Jones made his fireman jump off the train. He said, jump off, you know, save yourself. He did, he jumped off, he was knocked unconscious, but I think he survived. And Casey Jones stayed on the train in order to slow it down and use the whistle to warn civilians and other people that this accident was about to happen. Ultimately, he managed to slow the train right down to sort of 35 miles per hour, something like that. He mitigated the disaster so that nobody died except one person, and that one person was, of course, Casey Jones. He died in the wreck, but he was the only casualty in the accident. The locomotive in question was the Illinois Central number 382. It's a 10-wheeler, 460, built in 1898 by the Rogers Locomotive Works. They were used for mixed traffic and they were a very powerful design for the time. This example was destroyed in that wreck previously described that took place in 1900. Alright, so there it is then, the Casey Jones engine up close and personal for you, and I just love this loco. I'm going to be honest with you, I absolutely love it. Little disclaimer, you can't really look at this through the lens of a serious modeller in 2020. If you do that, you're probably going to end up not liking the thing, because quite obviously it is a basic locomotive, the level of detail isn't really there, and because it was made in the 1970s, who knows how accurate this thing is really going to be, probably not very. I prefer to look at this as a sort of historical model, as a tiny machine in its own right, and when you start looking at it like that, you fall in love with it, or at least I have anyway. First things first then, the build quality is just astonishing. I manhandled this quite heavily when I tried to take it apart to service it. Nothing dropped off it, it was absolutely bulletproof, built to last, fantastic, typical Rivarossi. Second of all, just look at it. It's got this character, hasn't it? It's got the perfect American loco shape. It's just a beautiful looking model. I can't really put my finger on it, but I love it. It's also got loads of lovely little details on it, even despite its age, like I say, mid-1970s. So you've got these gold handrails, realistic or not, I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to say I don't think so, but I'm no expert, they could well be. Look at them though, they just bring the whole model to life, it's fantastic. We've got these struts underneath the smoke box, I love them. So many of the separately fitted details on metal. We've got these whistles here, and probably some of those are safety valves or something up there. One of those would be the famous Casey Jones whippoorwill whistle, I imagine. All made of metal, really, really fine. In fact, that tiny piece there in the centre of the dome would probably rival some of the modern die-cast whistles, just fantastic. You've got this metal bell, look at this, this is a metal bell and it actually moves. I mean, I've seen a few plastic moving bells, but I don't think metal ones. That is absolutely marvellous. Look at this lamp, you've got a working lamp, there is a bulb behind there, which I suppose you could change for an LED if you wanted to. The casing around the lens, it's that sort of little copper coloured thing, that's made of metal as well. It's just total quality. Look at the smoke box door there, you've got handrails on there, what looks like the running number on a plate on the front there. I think that plate's made of plastic, but it's about the only thing that is. Most of the body is made of plastic, I should say, although there is a fairly heavy chassis on board, because Loco and Tender weigh about 250 grams, which isn't bad at all. And the moulded detail's beautiful. I mean, look at the cow catcher there, that just is so well moulded, very, very good looking. The area around the cylinders is really cool as well. You've got all of that high shine valve gear, which you can see there's some sort of plate on the side of the cylinders there. I'm not sure if I can make out whether that says something or not. Hopefully the close-up will do better. Big downside is the cab on this Loco though. As you can see, it is taken up with the motor, which is a bit of a shame. I mean, the cab's kind of important on the Casey Jones Loco because it's where he spent his final moments. But no, I mean, that's fair enough. That's typical of the time. Motors weren't as compact in those days as they are now, and that's fair enough. But yeah, generally the loco looks great. Look at the texture on the running plate here. I don't know if they're still called running plates in America, but yeah, it looks great. I really do love the look of this. If you're expecting a modern loco, if you buy one of these second hand, you'll be disappointed, as I say. But if you take it at face value, it's a beauty. It really is. The tender's great as well. Look at the metal wheels. That's a real mark of quality. I think it ruins a loco when you've got metal wheels on the loco, but not the tender. Well, it's not a problem with this. I didn't really talk about the decoration because there's not much, but as you can see, the running number's okay there, nicely applied. Loads of riveted detail on the side of the tender, which is cool, and we've got the coal load in there, which is nice and fine, actually. I mean, when you think mid-1970s, the Hornby coal from that era certainly wasn't that fine, so I think that's all right. And then you've got this strange coupling on the back. I think it's designed to fit on those sort of hook and loop European type couplings. I still can't remember what those are called, I did find out. But yeah, I think they do work with those, so I can run some of my European freight stock with this, I guess. Yeah, that's all right, that's not a problem. Okay, so yeah, I'm not going to go into too much detail. I think that will do it, won't it? I don't want to spend too long on this. Hopefully you get the picture. It's very impressive for the age. Not so much these days, of course, but you know, if Hornby still have the moulds for this, I would love to see them re-release it. Man, I would love that. Anyway, let's get it down onto the track. I will set up some other trains to run alongside it, and we'll give Casey Jones a bit of a resurrection, shall we? Okay. So there it is then, Casey Jones engine down onto the track. Is it just me being sad, or does this thing look awesome? I know it's old, I know up close it's pretty basic, but I can't help really enjoy it. It just looks epic, doesn't it? I hope I'm not just being mental here. Either way, yeah, the mechanism is about as good as it got for the 1970s. For the 1970s, it's really impressive. Like I say, I have stripped it down to service it when I first got it. I didn't actually find it that easy to service. I don't believe, it's some time ago now, but I don't believe I managed to get the base plate off to get access to the axles. Whether it's possible or not, I don't know, but it wasn't easy, that's for sure. I did manage to service the motor and everything. The motor's all right, it's just a 3-pole motor. Nothing to shout about these days, but it runs all right, as you're going to see. And also, we don't have any proper axles or anything on the wheel set, but we do have pickups on both the loco and the tender. There's 3 pickups on the loco, I believe, and then 1 on each axle on the tender. So, I mean, the picking up capability is fine. It doesn't stall on points or anything like that, which is really good. One thing it doesn't do very well, probably just due to the age of the mechanism and just the nature of them in those days, is crawl. It does not crawl very well. Let me show you. Hang on. There we are. I wasn't very careful there. I will try and do a more controlled start in a second. But as you can see, it's reasonably quiet, not terribly so, but reasonably. Pretty smooth too. Let's try that crawl again. I'm just turning up real slow in reverse. I can hear it starting to buzz. Go on. There we are. Yeah, that's as slow as it goes, folks. Maybe I can start it and then slow it down again. No, it just stalls. So there we go, that's about as good as the crawl gets. It is what it is, at least it's loco driven, at least it's reliable, etc, etc. It's not bad. I've got it going real slow over the points, and the points are just out of shot, but as you can hear, no stoppages. So it is fine, it is fine. One thing it is super powerful. I measured quite a lot of force on the drawbar with this. Should be enough to haul around 27 coaches, same as the Mogul that I just looked at, the N class from Bachmann. Really quite powerful. It does have traction tyres to help it, so that's a shame, but the loco is pretty heavy, I must say. Now, I've gone against what I was originally planning, and I've set up some Orient Express coaches, which I know aren't really suitable for this loco, but there are 8 of them, which I think should demonstrate the power of this model. So, let's go and couple up to them, and of course they have the same couplings as well, which is another motivation for me choosing them as the coaches of choice today. So let's back up and couple. Oh, Casey Jones's 2020 crash. No, that's fine. I believe they have coupled correctly, which means the coupling is at the right level. It's fit for purpose. Very good. Let's see then. Let's try and do that crawl now that we have 8 coaches coupled. See what difference that makes. Ooh, it is a bit slower now because, hey, look at that. So it can crawl under load. Yes, that's quite impressive. Makes sense, I suppose. Speed it up. As you can see, no wheel slip there. Holds them just perfectly. And they're nice coaches, actually. I have to say, I do like them very much. And then on the other line, I've got a bit of a mixture today of different locos. The one on the middle line is a loco that the Casey Jones model reminds me of. It doesn't have any specific prototype in real life, but it's the Mahano 440. I think that's the best way to describe it. Baltimore and Ohio. Got a bit of a good strain. I don't have an awful lot of American freight, I'm sorry to say. But there's some. Yeah, it's a nice loco. 440, not 460, but similar. And then today's challenge, I'll have a loco on the inside line, which, like the Casey Jones engine, is from a very famous class. However, they have something else in common. It's an A4, as you can see. It is Gadwell. That's your challenge for today. Let me know in the comments what the similarity is between Gadwell and the Casey Jones engine. You'll get a cookie sent in the post if you get it right. No, you won't. Just look at the state of this. You can't not love it. Oh, well, maybe you could not love that. Yeah, you can't not love this, can you? And also the coaches are just so reliable. They go round and round, no coming uncoupled or slowing the loco down. No, I love it. I just love this loco. Any opportunity I'm going to get to run this, I will take. It's awesome. And just look at this. I love the way it chugs up Gordon's Hill. It's like it's really struggling, but it just about manages it. Doesn't wheel slip, mind. Well, it does a bit. Does that? Is that? Yeah, that's wheel slipping. Oh, it just about does it. Cool. Here comes Gadwell. Rather too close for comfort to the camera, but not to worry. And we've just missed the lovely 440 train go past. Again, not to worry. The other thing is, like I say, it does have a working light, and the bulb did work. I tested it when I serviced it, but it was dim then. And obviously now I'm filming and I'm under the bright lights. You literally can't tell that it's on at all. In fact, I'm second guessing whether it is actually working now, because I really can't detect it. But it did work, like I say, it was alright when all the lights were down. Obviously, modern LEDs like the one in the Mahano are much better. I'll get a shot of that. Yeah, much brighter than bulbs, and of course they're much brighter at lower voltages as well. See that? Well, that's much better, so if I fitted old Casey with one of those, I think it'd look way better. I guess the only thing that's missing is Casey's iconic whistle. You can listen to it online, although apparently his technique was quite special with it. So a modern one with DCC sound would be epic. Yes, I had to repair one of the coach wheels because it slid around on the axle. I don't know if the bearing has gotten a bit glued up or not on one of them, because it's struggling a lot more now than it was, so might have to get some glue off at some point or give the bearing some oil. Either way, it's managing for now, just about. So I am aware it's a little bit redundant to try and rate this loco. It's an old model. My ratings are designed for modern stuff. It's not really a fair comparison against all the other modern stuff that's on my leaderboard. But just for the sake of argument, just so that it can appear in my rankings, I guess, I am going to give some ratings to this, but obviously don't take them as a criticism because it is a much older loco than the ratings are designed for. Here we go then. As you can see, the detail I've given 2-star. I wanted to give it 3 because it has all of those metal details, but I've just given the Bachmann Fanuc Flyer a 3-star. This has got to be more basic than that, so I have given it just a 2-star. It's fine though, I don't mind it too much. The performance isn't that great, the crawl isn't very good to be honest with you, and it does run quite fast. It is however relatively smooth and very reliable, even over express points, so not going to fault the performance too heavily. It's very, very powerful. 27 coaches this thing should be capable of hauling. I measured 0.44 newtons on the rear drawbar. Very powerful. It does have traction tyres though, so it's cheating slightly, which brings us on to the mechanism. The mechanism's not very good, the quality of the mechanism's excellent. However, you know, again, given the age, only got a 3-pole motor, no proper bearings on the wheel set. However, we do have tender pickups, which is pretty good. We have a lot of weight to this loco. It does have traction tyres though, so it loses a star for that for sure. The quality though is really, really good. The build quality is absolutely wonderful. Very, very well built, very sturdy, lots of separately fitted metal parts. The only thing I would really criticise about the quality is the lack of metal on the loco itself. Top quality modern locos have a lot more metal work than that. And obviously the traction tyres, yeah, they're not a good quality feature, but besides that, quality is great. Value for money. Now if you think about this, right, I bought this second hand for £100, that's kind of expensive. If this was released today in its current form, maybe with slightly more modern couplings and perhaps a more modern motor, for £100, I would buy it. I would go for it, I really would. I don't think £100 is bad for this, so I've given it 4-star. Obviously it's quite a lot for such an old loco, but yeah, I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt there. In total then, that is 6.36 out of 10, not a terrible score for such an old loco. Into the logbook it goes there, where are we, 31st, just above the Underground Ernie set and below the 43XX. Yeah, overall it's difficult to complain really, it's just got character, it's got charm, I really do like it, can't help myself. So be sure to feedback in the comments. Do you like this kind of video? Do you prefer modern locos? If you do, that's fine. If you like the vintage locos alternatively, do make that known in the comments too, and then I'll know that that's something I should do more of in the future. I've got to say though, man, please say you want more, because I love this. I really have enjoyed this one. It's great. Looks good too with all those coaches. It goes one last chug up Gordon's Hill for you. People like wheel slip, don't they? Not in real life. It's a nightmare in real life, but model form is pretty cool. Look at that, that's as close to the mark as it gets. Yeah, they're not the best wheeling coaches, if you couldn't tell. They're alright though, they look the part. Alright then folks, well thank you very much for your company today. Bit of something different really, but I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I had a great time with this one, so yeah, bring it on. More Rivarossi hopefully in the future. Maybe some more of their modern stuff would be fun to try. For now though, thanks for watching, thanks for your company, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers everybody.